And good afternoon, good evening, good night, and welcome to today's episode of Law, News and Laughter. Things I will not be talking about today. WhatsApp is apparently moving forward with in-app ads, which is completely ridiculous. I mean, imagine if you had to, back in the day, sat and listened to an ad before your landline would let you make a phone call. Apparently, Barry Manilow has re-explained why he didn't come out as gay in 2017, as if anybody gives a shit. And the Marvels movie has tanked, making just $47 million at the box office, $7 million less than Edward Norton's Hulk from 2008. Holy shit. And apparently, men are to blame. Not Brie Larson's shitty acting or the terrible script, just men. So let's get stuck into it, people. Welcome to today's episode of Law, News and Laughter. Alright, I'm still a little unsure exactly how to do this, because my blood pressure's already up, and... ooh, we're 3 minutes in, okay. And I'm already pissed the fuck off. Now, as many of you would know, I have stayed the fuck out of the Israel-Palestine conflict shit. I don't honestly have any sort of dog in the fight, so I don't really talk about it. But over the weekend, much like Japan dragging America into World War II by bombing Pearl Harbor, someone did something fucking stupid, which has drawn my ire and may just drag me into the conflict. This past weekend, the 11th of the 11th, was Remembrance Day. Much like Memorial Day in the US, it is the day when we stop and we reflect and we remember the soldiers that gave their lives to protect our country. And what did they think it would be a good idea to do? Deface the Melbourne War Memorial. Pro-Palestinian protesters decided it would be a good idea to spray paint and shame Australia by putting slogans and all sorts of shit all over our war memorial on the weekend when we sit and remember the individuals that gave their lives. So, yes. Did someone forget to time a kangaroo down sport? Said it again, not our flag, not our war. No, exactly. And that's where I'm going to actually finally say my piece about it. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you're living here in Australia, or if you were living in the UK, or if you're living in America, that is the country to which your first allegiance should lie. If you have the balls to deface and desecrate something aimed at remembering those that gave their lives to the country on which you stand, you do not deserve to be breathing the same air as those people around you. How about we look at the news article? Let's start with that. Let's look at the news article. Melbourne War Memorial is defaced by pro-Palestine protesters as demonstrations erupt across the country. A war memorial in Melbourne was desecrated on Remembrance Day by anti-Israel graffiti as tens of thousands attended pro-Palestine protests across the country. The Montrose Memorial in Melbourne's outer east was defaced with slogans including "Stop the Genocide in Gaza," "Shame Israel," USA, UK, Australia, and "Free Palestine" on Friday night. "Ceasefire" was scrawled in huge red lettering on the monument's obelisk. It happened just hours after violent clashes between 400 pro-Palestine demonstrators and pro-Israel supporters in the Jewish suburb of Caulfield in the city's southeast, following a fire at a burger restaurant by an outspoken pro-Palestinian advocate. Erected by the people of Montrose as a tribute to her gallant sons who took part in the Great War 1914 to 1919, who died on service: Fred Davies, Gordon Ewart, and Norman Hook. This is a monument to specific individuals that gave their lives serving their country. And you have the balls to think that it's okay to desecrate that when you don't have the balls to get on a plane and go and fight your own battles. Fuck off. It's fucking disgusting. Defense Minister Richard Marles said the vandalism at the memorial, which was originally erected by the people of Montrose as a tribute to their gallant sons who took part in the Great War of 1914 to 1919, was completely unacceptable. No shit, Sherlock! We live in a country where there is freedom of expression. Miles, you want to run that one by me just one more time? Just one more time. But the people need to take responsibility for the way in which that is occurring, he told Sky News. Defacing a war memorial does nothing to advance the cause of what's happening in Gaza, and it does nothing to advance the cause of humanitarian situations facing the people in Gaza. Exactly. If anything, all it does is piss off the people that are giving you shelter. Because here's the thing. We know multiculturalism has failed. I have said it many, many times. You didn't come here to bring the shittiest parts of your culture. You came here to experience the best that ours has to provide and offer. So if you can't assimilate into that and absorb into that, fuck off. I don't give a shit anymore. These are people that are willing to tear down our country because shit's happening back in theirs. Because if they thought of Australia as their country, as their home, they wouldn't be doing this. They wouldn't be treating us like dirt under our feet. And I'm fucking over it. And you know what? In this instance, it's pro-Palestinians that have done this. As I said, I don't care one way or the other. Why I'm pissed off is because it's the pro-Palestinians that have done this to piss me off. I don't have a side about Gaza or Israel. But what you've done is you've trod on the sanctity of Australian heritage. So yes, now I'm pissed off. War erupted in the region on October 7 after Hamas launched a terror attack, killing 1,200 civilians and taking around 240 hostage. Israel's retaliatory airstrikes have so far killed over 11,000 Palestinians, according to the officials. A team from the council came with high-pressure hoses and brushes to clean the Montrose Memorial before Saturday's Remembrance Day service. And imagine if they hadn't been able to get that set up. Imagine if it was not possible to get that graffiti off prior to the service. And I'm willing to bet they probably didn't get it all off. I'm willing to bet that prior to this, because obviously we still had the wreath laying ceremonies, to remember those that gave their lives so that these fuckwits can have the freedom to do this. Victoria Police are investigating the incident, yeah, but good fucking luck putting anybody behind bars about that. Even if they manage to make an arrest, are you seriously telling me that people aren't going to be up in arms saying that it's politically motivated and that individuals shouldn't be put behind bars because they're fighting for a cause? Protest group Free Palestine Melbourne apologised on Saturday after staging a protest outside the burnt-down Burgatory branch in Caulfield. You misspelled Caulfield, but that's not the point. Which led to the evacuation of a local synagogue. Organisers were unaware that there was a synagogue across the park. I call bullshit. Where the Central Shul Shabbat on Maple Street, South Caulfield, the group said in a statement. We apologise to the local Jewish community for the protest location that led to the evacuation of the synagogue, for any fear that may have been felt and the cancellation of Shabbat. Then why protest in the first place? We should not have gathered at this location. It was never our intention to disrupt intermediate Jewish worshippers. The tense scenes saw some protesters pepper sprayed and taken away in handcuffs as an estimated 200 people on each side clashed as the heavy police presence attempted to keep them apart. Opposition leader Peter Dutton branded the incident absolutely disgusting. It was a deliberate act of incitement designed to end in violence, and predictably it did. These things have no place in our country and should be totally and utterly condemned. Oh, I condemn them in the strongest possible words. As I've said, if you have issues with what's going on with another country, hop a plane, be my guest, I'll fucking pay it for you. But this whole thing with disrupting the lives of the individuals in the country in which has accepted you? Fuck off. You go and deface our monuments to those who gave their lives to protect the sanctity of our land? Fuck off. You can't learn how to assimilate into our society for a fair go and a fair shake of the stick and the Australian dream. Fuck off. The Jewish community in Australia is rightly scared for their safety at the moment. We all have a responsibility to call out vile anti-Semitism when it rears its ugly head as it did last night in Caulfield. Burgatory's CEO, Hash Taya, 32, had asked people not to protest after his restaurant was gutted by alleged arson. Mr. Taya addressed over 50,000 pro-Palestinian protesters in Melbourne's city centre on Sunday. In the past few weeks, I called for peace and a ceasefire. My business has become a target. In a cruel act of arson, our store has been reduced to ashes. To those who sought to silence us, I will say you will not succeed. Love and unity will always prevail. A similar demonstration was staged in Sydney's Hyde Park, where thousands gathered in support of Palestine. Earlier in the day, a crowd of around 5,000 gathered in Moore Park in Sydney's inner east to march the Jewish hostage... Oh, no shit. Thank you for the super chat, Mandy. Israel, USA, Germany, and now the UK are now on Iran's ass. It's impressive how many countries are now on their ass. Maybe Iran going for Russia's record for having multiple superpowers on your ass. Look, the whole thing that I saw with the GOP debate and that sort of thing, and the warmongering about how it's a need to start a war with Iran, personally I thought it was a little bit disgusting and debilitating, but anyway. Debilitating is probably not the right word there, but I don't, you know. So, exactly why I'll never move to a country or refuse to assimilate to their culture. Well, that's exactly it. Why the fuck is it that we're expected to assimilate into other countries when we move there, and yet we don't expect that of the same when they move here? Why is it that we try and absorb their culture into the melting pot that is multiculturalism, and yet we watch it blow up in our faces time and time again? Elle Macpherson equals the Australian dream. I will give you that one. That was good. Alex Rivchin, the Executive Council of Australian Jewry, addressed the Set Them Free rally called for the destruction of Hamas and the swift and complete victory of heroic forces for the IDF. Hope for the safe rescue of every hostage, hope for the complete destruction of Hamas, and hope for the era of peace in the land of Israel, he said. Protesters also gathered in number at Brisbane's King George Square and were expected to gather outside Parliament House in Perth and Russell Square in Adelaide on Sunday. Desecrating a war memorial for Australian soldiers. Not the smartest way to gain support for your cause. No, it is not. How is it tolerated? Because for some reason, Aussie Marge, we don't stand up for what we should be. It has been a very long time since honest, good, hard-working Australians have actually bothered to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and rally against the bullshit that is going on in this country. And I, for one, am sick and tired of it. Where are you, oh great leader? Anthony Albanese's too busy bending over for Xi Jinping right now. Oh wait, no, he's supposed to be in San Francisco. So why the fuck is... who's Albo bending over for now? Powers that be haven't had the backbone since 1940. I'm from Austria, so we're all very shocked to see pro-H groups burn down a temple at our main cemetery in Vienna. Damn. I can't get over how disgraceful this is. When you open your home to somebody, you give them shelter, you give them aid, you give them a fair go. And then they turn around and piss on your rug and throw a tantrum and decide that it's a good idea to smash your windows, burn your bed, hell, take a shit on the carpet. All because whatever's going on back home is more important to them than the fact that you've given them a roof over their head. As far as I'm concerned, they can hop on a plane, go and fight the issues themselves. Because if they're really that emphatic about it, if they really care that much, then what the fuck are they still doing here? They should be over there fighting for their cause, not defacing a fucking war memorial on a day when we stand and remember those that have fallen. At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, we shall remember them. That is what these fuckwits have pissed all over, in my opinion. And it is disgusting, and it is disgraceful, and it should not be tolerated. Now, I'm going to move on before I actually do burst a blood vessel. I hope to never have to discuss Israel and Hamas or Israel and Palestine ever again, because this channel is a bastion of avoidance. It is a bastion of where you can go to get your fill of all the other interesting things going on in the world. So we can avoid the major headlines. We can avoid the bullshit that is driving everybody insane. So let's move on, shall we? The Reason Australian and Medical Association is rejecting pushes to legalise cannabis. A push to legalise recreational cannabis use.
Show their truth.
Fuck off. A push to legalise regional One second. Yeah, thanks, Mandy. I really need to get a haircut. A push to legalise recreational cannabis use in Australia has been opposed by the country's peak medical body, which argues it will send the wrong message about potential social and health-related harms. Fuck off. In its submission to the Greens legalising cannabis bill, the Australian Medical Association, which has no vested interest in maintaining that opioids or other pharmaceutical painkillers or anything like that, or cancer treatments, or any number of other things. They have no vested interest in those whatsoever. Why on earth would they try and prevent medicinal and recreational cannabis becoming a mainstream thing? Guess maybe there's not enough money to be made in it if someone can suddenly grow their own, shall we say, fun time. They said legalising recreational use would increase adverse health impacts and place further demand on the healthcare system. It cited concerns about increased availability to young people despite the bill intending to restrict the sale of cannabis products to the people over the age of 18. The AMA believes that if cannabis was legalised for recreational purposes, it would indicate to the public that cannabis use is not harmful. Allowing people to grow up to 6 plants in their home may normalise frequent cannabis use and will make large quantities of cannabis even more accessible to young people. Green Senator David Shoebridge put forward his long-awaited legislation to decriminalise and regulate cannabis across Australia in August. The bill hopes to establish a national cannabis licensing scheme and regulator that would oversee the commercial growing and selling of certain strains. Under the Greens' plans, adults could legally grow 6 plants in Australia, but it would remain a crime to sell pot to anyone under the age, such as teenagers. Anyone underage? What do you... Is it... Why did you feel the need to say such as teenagers? Anyone under the age of 18 is literally a teenager, or they're a child. Just say anyone under the age of 18. Wow, I am still hot to trot, aren't I? It is also proposed to the establishment of a licensed Amsterdam-style cannabis cafe to sell cannabis products such as brownies. In its submission, the AMA said cannabis use should be better regulated and treated first and foremost as a health issue instead of a criminal issue. When cannabis users come into contact with the police or the courts, the opportunity should be taken to divert those users to preventative, educational, and therapeutic options that they would not otherwise have. If they are over the age of 18, who gives a goddamn fuck as to what they're allowed to do on their own? I don't believe that the government should be intervening in this. I've always felt the same way about all drugs, okay? Regulate, don't criminalise. But more to the point, anyone who is over the age of 18 has their ability to make their own goddamn decisions. If that means that they go and get hooked on meth, okay, fine. Remove any sort of, welfare benefits. That may have been the wrong button. My point is, nobody on this god-green earth has any right to tell anyone over the age of 18 what to do. You know, aside from the societal norms of, committing murder and shit like that. I'm so goddamn sick of the government trying to stick their nose in and trying to, put your hand behind your back and bend you over. If Lady Overlaw'd doesn't like Aussie's sharp sideburns, then I'll question her eye for handsome male details. She fucking hates the beard. She hates it. In 2019, 36% of Australians over the age of 14 had used cannabis in their lifetime, with 11.6% using cannabis in the last 12 months. A Parliamentary Budget Office report commissioned by the Greens revealed in January that legalising cannabis for adults could generate $28 billion in taxes. Brilliant. Bring that in, tax that, lower the fucking income tax, stop bringing in additional individuals so that you don't keep inflating our housing prices with artificial demand just so you can promote the GDP. Oh, and I don't know, just fucking do your jobs rather than jet-setting around the world, and I'll be happy. According to Senator Shoebridge, the money generated could be used to raise the rate of job seeker and the youth allowance by $80 a fortnight. You know, people that actually need welfare and assistance. My neighbour found Mary J growing outside an apartment here and threw them in the swimming pool. Lovely. Curtin University's National Drug Research Institute said in its submission to the bill that the plan was well-intended and consistent with the developing research evidence on the impact of cannabis legislation schemes, but raised concerns about the registration of cannabis strains. The Australian College of General Practitioners said, while there is evidence that cannabis played a role in treating health conditions, legalising recreational use because it could exacerbate adverse public health impacts such as mental health issues. Yeah. Or in the case of some of us who are incredibly stressed, it could aid in those mental health issues. This past weekend, This past weekend, I had an opportunity to sit down with my father. Well, sit down, it was standing, we were having a conversation. But I basically had the opportunity for 45 minutes to unload all of my grief and stress and seek advice from someone far more wise than me. I told him of every single ounce of pressure that is currently riding on my shoulders. You know what his advice was? You need to smoke a joint. I love that man. The ACT has allowed adults to possess up to 50 grams of dried or 150 grams of fresh cannabis since 2020. It's also been legal for people to grow 2 plants per person and smoke it at home for the personal use. Medicinal cannabis was legalised in Australia in 2016. And then Hayden and Dad beat up a kangaroo. Thing is that they can decriminalise pot, tons still can't smoke because of their jobs. It's not different from alcohol, but much better than fentanyl. This is true. Okay, where are we? NASA astronauts dropped a toolbox during an ISS spacewalk, and now it's orbiting Earth. Guess who couldn't hold onto their tools? Astronauts from NASA mistakenly dropped their toolbox in outer space, and now the equipment is set to orbit Earth on its own before it crashes back down through the atmosphere in the next few months. Essential maintenance work at the ISS meant that Jasmine Mongbelli and Laurel O'Hara had to spend more than 6 hours floating outside the base. During their mission, they accidentally dropped the toolbox, which has remained in space orbiting a few minutes ahead of the ISS at around 17,000 miles an hour. There is a screwdriver out there that is currently travelling 17,000 miles per hour. Were they diversity hires? The astronaut's Japanese colleague, Satoshi Furukawa, even caught the moment the bag drifted away on camera. Whilst trying to capture a picture of Mount Fuji, he inadvertently snapped the apparatus as it moved into oblivion. Luckily, the pair's mishap did not impact on their work, so NASA says, as NASA confirmed that the missing toolbox was no longer needed. I call bullshit. This, to me, sounds like they're covering those chicks' asses because, like, I'm sorry, it's a toolkit. When is that not going to be useful on the International Space Station when they have a limited amount of, traveling and resupplying and all that sort of shit? Love my ass off if that screwdriver slams into someone's backyard. It won't make it through the atmosphere. It will burn up. But the point is, that would be freaking hilarious. Wonder what the toolbox costs. It wouldn't be cheap, that's the other thing. Don't know about these guys, but the guys at work like when I drop my tools for some reason. See, the funny thing is, Mandy, if I'm perfectly honest... Hang on, you know what? Give me 1 second. One second, guys. 1 second. See, what's funny is when I picture Mandy, this is what I think of. The mechanic from Disney's Atlantis. So, anyway. Alright. Where did I get to? Oh, apparently humans have a third set of teeth, and now Japanese medicine is going to help them grow through. A sliver of what makes sharks so intriguing comes in with their ability to regrow teeth. And while a group of Japanese researchers aren't claiming that we should be trying to be the most shark-like possible, they'd like for us someday maybe to share the same ability. Following up on a 2021 study that showed that medicine targeting the protein synthesized by the USAG1 gene could impact on the number of teeth grown in animals, the team has turned its attention to humans. They've announced a 2024 clinical trial of the medicine, which they hope to have ready for general use by 2030. The idea of growing new teeth is every dentist's dream. I've been working on this ever since I was a graduate student. I was confident I'd be able to make it happen, said Katsu Takahashi, lead researcher and head of the dentistry and oral surgery department at the Medical Research Institute in Kitano Hospital in Osaka. We're hoping to see a time when tooth regrowth medicine is the third choice alongside dentures and implants. It would be very useful. What's wrong? I pissed her off. Let's go to Bronca for commentary. Cargo's thousands of dollars a pound to lift off to the space station. This is very true. So... man-made horrors beyond comprehension. 40% chance roughly some of that tools make it back to Earth intact. No shit. Okay, so there is a chance that you might get hit on the head by a falling screwdriver. Thank you, Michigan Space Technologies. Very helpful. I appreciate it. Oh shit, at some point I've still got to have you on the show, haven't I? Okay. The idea of growing... You got that. Takahashi has spent years researching teeth regrowth potential and has focused on the role of genes in teeth growth. The number of teeth varied through the mutation in just one gene. If we make that the target of our research, there should be a way to change the number of teeth people have. Researchers found that the ASAG1 protein could limit the growth of teeth in mice, so ensuring that the protein didn't form could potentially invite teeth to grow. Yeah, and they'll just poke out sideways, or they look like that artist rendition of Lisa in The Simpsons when the dentist's sitting there going, if you don't get braces, this is what happens. And she gets like one sticking out the side of her head, and then... The number of teeth varied through the mutation of just one gene. If we make that the target of research, there should be a way to change the number of teeth that people have. Researchers found that they could limit the... Oh, I read that. A 2023 paper published in Regenerative Therapy decries the lack of treatments available for tooth regrowth, but highlights how the anti-ASAG1 antibody treatment in mice could offer a breakthrough for treating teeth anomalies in humans. With about 1% of humans suffering from odontia, a genetic condition that doesn't allow a full set of teeth to grow, there is hope for tooth regrowth in humans beyond just mice-centric trials. And the hope, Takahashi claims, should be to further encourage the fact that we already come preloaded with the starting point. He said that his previous research shows that humans have the start of a third set of teeth already embedded in our mouths. This is the most visibly exhibited by 1% of humans with hypodontia, the growing of more than one full set of teeth. And Takahashi believes that activating the third set of buds with the right gene manipulation could promote teeth regrowth. This came in, I bothered looking this up because, good news, everyone! My daughter's growing up. She lost her first tooth yesterday. Tooth Fairy came. We're all very happy. She got her $10 note. And, yeah, so she's going to school and she's missing on here and on here. One, because she fell over and chipped half of her tooth off at daycare, and we've been hoping that they want to fall out. But, yeah. Front bottom tooth. It was very cute. She's walking and going... It was really funny. I'm a proud dad. Anyway, if all goes well in the upcoming clinical trial, the world may have more teeth as soon as 2030. Where are we? Oh, we're at the 30-minute mark, so I need to do... Where is it? Oh, don't tell me I've lost it. Hang on. This is why I gotta start closing tabs. There, not there, not there. Is it that? No, I don't believe that was it. Ah, okay. Now, because I've realised that a whole bunch of Aussies watch me for the regular news, we're gonna do the weather. Today it is courtesy of Channel 10. Channel 9, Today Show.
In Queensland for Cairns, Townsville and Mackay today, all looking mostly fine and sunny. Temps in the high 20s, low 30s. Hamilton Island around the Whitsunday region, mostly sunny, 27 today. 38 for the Isa, Longreach for you, 39 degrees.
Basically, it's going to be reasonably warm, and most of you are going to have sun up in Queensland. I understand that there are some bushfires going on, so please, for the love of God, be careful. Keep your watch and act in place. And yeah.
Rocky sunshine and 32. Bundaberg mostly sunny and 30. Here on the Sunshine Coast, 29 degrees today and looking fine for the Goldie as well. Becoming a little cloudy later and a top of 29 as well.
Weather prediction fire with
good morning
spiders.
To you, Grafton, partly cloudy, 29 degrees, 33 for Dubbo today and looking sunny.
What do we got?
Hill, 32 degrees and fine through the Riverina.
Okay, that's not too bad. Sydney's 23 and cloudy.
Wagga Wagga, 27 for Albury. Canberra for you, partly cloudy and 27. Victoria and Tasmania, sunny conditions for Mildura.
And here we are freezing our asses off with 19 today.
22 degrees.
Lovely.
As well, and 21 for Ballarat. Launceston for you, sunshine, 23 degrees, 22 for Swansea, and Strawn a couple of showers and 15 degrees. To South Australia, partly cloudy and 20 for Mount Gambier. A shower or two developing for Port Lincoln. Sejuna for you, a shower or two and a possible storm later, 21 degrees.
Bushfire, is that Aussie slang for an STD? No.
Hot top. To WA, showers and a possible storm, 31 for
Had 37 yesterday, 26 today. Fuck.
For Karratha, Port Hedland, and for Broome today, 33 degrees on the way. And the Territory, Alice Springs, partly cloudy, 35, and Darwin, a shower or two, a possible storm, and 33 degrees.
There you go. There's today's weather, people. So stay safe. Anyway, man threatened by unknown offender during an alleged extortion attempt in Melbourne. Police have released the image of a man who they would like to speak to as part of an investigation into an alleged extortion attempt in Melbourne. The man is believed to have visited a home... Fuck off. Police have released the image of the man they'd like to speak to. The man is believed to have visited a home in Croydon South at 9:20 a.m. on August 21 before knocking on the victim's door. The man threatened the victim shortly after he answered the door. Classy. Police say the victim had never seen the man before and quickly called the police. After he left the home, he was followed by the victim to another address on Faraday Road, where the man remained for a short time. He is perceived to be Caucasian, because apparently they don't realise you're not allowed to use the word Caucasian anymore, because white privilege means that we are no longer Caucasian. Anyone recognise that nose? Nah, not so much. We all need Skippy the kangaroo. Between 40 and 50 years old, last seen wearing a black jumper, brown work pants, brown work boots, and a high-vis orange vest. Because, you know, if you're going to go and extort people for money, like threaten them and say, give me money, otherwise I'm going to hurt you, you don't generally want to be in a high-vis vest. It's colonizer now. Do you know how many of us are probably sitting here going, maybe we should have just actually conquered instead of colonized? You missed the brown face. That's terrible. Hang on, I'm just going to close some of these pages as I go, so I'll make sure I'm not doubling up again. And we can close that one about NASA. Okay, 2 Koreans are amongst 18 who have been sentenced to death in Vietnam during a drug bust. 2 Koreans were among 18 people sentenced to death for drug smuggling and trafficking charges in Vietnam. The communist country has some of the toughest drug laws in the world and is notoriously secretive about its executions. Korean ex-police officer Kim Sun-sik, 63, and compatriot Kang Seon-hok, 30, were sentenced to death following a 4-day trial in Ho Chi Minh City. Chinese citizen Lee Tian-Nguyen, 58, and alleged Vietnamese ringleader Lee Ho Vu, 36, were also handed death sentences. 14 other people were also handed death sentences in connection with the case following the trial in the Family and Juvenile Court under Ho Chi Minh City People's Court. I'm sorry, what? The case was in the Family and Juvenile Court and they've handed out death sentences? Hey, Jeff. Okay. The group illegally stored, trafficked, and traded more than 216 kilograms of drugs between May and June 2020, said the state media site Kong An Na Dan. More than 168 kilograms of all kinds of drugs were confiscated, it reported, without specifying what type. Death for kids too? Oh my god. Well, that's what it sort of sounds like. The narcotics were trafficked from Cambodia to Ho Chi Minh City, according to Vu, where some were consumed domestically while others were transported to Korea. Officers busted the operation on July 19 in Ho Chi Minh City, according to the reported indictment, where they searched a container truck preparing to complete customs clearance for shipment to Korea. Inside, they found 40 plastic packages containing white crystals with a total of 39.5 kilos of methamphetamine. State media reported Vu was convicted of illegal transportation of drugs and using fake seals and documents for organizations. The other 17 people were convicted of illegal possession of drugs, illegally trading of drugs, illegal drug trafficking, and organization of illegal use of drugs. Drugs. 3 defendants were also sentenced to life imprisonment for illegal drug trafficking. Yeah, but you've just sentenced a whole bunch of them to death. What, are you going to put them in jail, say you're sentenced for life imprisonment, and then the next day put a bullet in them? I mean, it works, technically. Yes, by all means, people, because I am terrible at grifting myself. I always seem to forget. Please double check whether or not you have smashed that like button. Hit the thumbs up for me. Just, share us out. I appreciate the views. I really, well and truly do. And as always, please make sure that you are still subscribed because YouTube is asshole. And, if they're unsubscribing me from my own channel, I can only imagine how many of you are getting unsubscribed. So, tomato. It added that one person who was under the age of 18 was sentenced to 15 years imprisonment. There is no indication when the executions will be carried out. Vietnamese courts routinely hand out death sentences for drug convictions, and the country is a leading executioner globally, according to Amnesty International. The country is close to the lawless Golden Triangle region which covers parts of Laos, Thailand, and Myanmar, Burma, with Vietnamese police saying Ho Chi Minh City is increasingly becoming a hub for drug gangs as transport infrastructure has improved in recent years. Anyone caught with more than 600 grams of heroin or more than 2.5 kilos of meth can face the death penalty. He would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those damn kids and their dog. A 2021 Amnesty International report said partial disclosures by authorities indicated that hundreds of people continued to be sentenced to death yearly. More than 100 were sentenced to death in Vietnam last year, according to the International Monitoring non-government organization, the Death Penalty Information Center. Many faced long spells in detention before they executed, with information about their trials and deaths scarce. However, Vietnamese authorities declassified some data in 2017, with the state media running stories that 429 people have been executed in the country between 2013 and 2016. In 2017, the courts handed down death sentences to 8 drug traffickers for smuggling heroin to China. We have a massive Vietnamese population in Arlington, and they do a lot of drugs. Since 2013, Vietnam has carried out death sentences by lethal injection, replacing execution by firing squad. Well, there you go. A mother has taught an ungrateful child a lesson after she chucked her pencil case in the bin. Why this is news, I don't know, but I thought it'd be a bit funny. Teaching your children valuable life lessons is no easy task, and often parents will have very different ideas when it comes to the tricky topic of discipline. One mother has left fellow parents divided after sharing how she instilled an important lesson of gratitude for her ungrateful daughter after she chucked her brand new pencil case in the bin. Hardworking mum Hayley, who has been praised for her tough love approach, went through 3 separate shops in order to get her daughter Presley a pencil case as a sweet surprise. She'd expected the little girl to be ecstatic with her present, and was therefore astonished when she instead stared at it and threw it in the trash, slamming a bedroom door. The fuck? Like, what? Taking to Facebook in 2019, where she shared a photo of the tearful Presley, Hayley revealed... What? So this was... Wait, this was 4 years ago? Why are we... Okay, anyway. She yelled, "That's stupid. Everyone in my class has that. I don't want it anymore." Unimpressed with her daughter's attitude, she recalled how there was probably smoke coming out of her ears by this point, but she tried really hard not to completely lose it. Believing a gentle wake-up call was in order, she said, "But I thought I always had to taught her to be grateful and know how lucky she's apparently sis needed a small wake-up call. So, before completely going Medea mad on the child, I check myself and say, okay, that's fine, let me go and get the one you're going to use." She then came back with a new pencil case, a simple Ziploc bag. She lost her mind. Suddenly the lol box she had just trashed was good enough, and the Ziploc bag was horrible, but it was too late for that. I told her to get the lol out of the trash, and we would find a child to give it to tomorrow. One whose mummy and daddy didn't have the money for the school supplies, or someone who didn't even have a mummy or daddy. What's that? A mum just turned in a 14-year-old for shooting. Huh. Alright, hang on. We'll add that to the watch list. Thank you very much for the super chat as well. Mother turns in her 14-year-old in a suspected Fairfax shooting. Okay, alright. Alright, where are we? Explaining the reasoning behind the teachable moment, she added, "I explained to her she's not entitled to anything special, and she's taking for granted how lucky she is. So for now, she'll be using a Ziploc bag and be personally delivering the nice box to a child who could benefit from it. Maybe I overreact sometimes, but I would have done anything to have those things as a child. I truly believe changing your perception and just being grateful can turn around any situation in life." A number of mums praised Hayley for passing down the wisdom to Presley that will no doubt benefit her in years to come. One impressed mother applauded, said, pat yourself on the back, mama. She'll turn out better in the future, mark my words." No comments on that one. What do you think, peeps? Do you think the mother was justified in this? I love that she... Okay, one thing I'll point out is she left the apostrophe off of Presley's, but still. Want the pencil bag if she doesn't want it? Oh, crap. Oh, we already got that one, so I can close that one too. Workers say murder suspect Samuel Haskell hired them to dump body parts. Because why not? The son of an ex-Hollywood agent charged with a woman's murder after he dismembered her torso which was found in a dumpster on Wednesday, apparently hired a group of workers to haul her body in trash bags from his Los Angeles area home. "I started seeing body parts, a belly button. Holy shit!" One of the day laborers told NBC Los Angeles. "I was astonished. Of course, I felt bad. We'd been tricked." The workers told the local TV station that the alleged killer, 35-year-old Samuel Haskell Jr., paid them $500 to remove 3 large trash bags from his house in Tazana, where police say Haskell lived with his wife May, who was believed to be the victim, and her parents Gaoshan Li and Yangji Wang, who were also missing. When Haskell enlisted the crew on Tuesday, he told them the bags were filled with rocks. Once they lifted the items, however, it seemed like there was meat inside the 50-pound bags, which they described as soft and soggy. Ugh. When we picked up the bags, we could tell that they weren't rocks in there, the worker said, who were asked to remain anonymous. Why did you need to specify that he said it in Spanish? Like watching on Rumble on the TV, but the chat here is better. Well, there you go. Concerned that something wasn't right about the scrap removal, the men pulled their truck over about a block away from the residence and peered inside the bags. Ooh, they returned to his home to dump the bags in the driveway and return the money. NBC reportedly added that the workers said that they told Haskell they didn't want to be involved, and Haskell tried to pass the body parts off as Halloween props. God was watching over us, the hired hand said, adding that the men feared for their lives. Okay, question. Why did they not immediately call the police? Why did they go back and try and drop the bags off and return the money? Like, screw that. Keep the money. Call the cops. The workers said they tried to report what they accounted to police, but the California Highway Patrol directed them to Los Angeles Police Department, who told them to leave and call 911 outside. TMZ published surveillance video that showed Haskell flagging down a blue moving truck in front of his home. Minutes later, 2 men are captured on the video moving what appear to be large black trash bags. Haskell, who had been held on a $2 million bail, is the son of a former William Morris executive, who represented actors like Ray Romano, Whoopi Goldberg, and Martin Short, as well as singer Dolly Parton. His father, Haskell Sr., is also a former chairman of the board of the Miss America organization. Hey, how you doing? Greetings right back at you. How's Jersey? Still a hole? The alleged killer may have dabbled in the entertainment industry too. The Messenger, a news website, reported that he appeared to run a company called Tragic Streets using the alias Samuel Basinger. Okay. Tragic Streets' website says that Basinger has worked with rappers Machine Gun Kelly and Tyga, and actresses Peyton List and Olivia Holt, as well as Kaylin Russo. Last year, he posted a 10-second TikTok video that announced, "My resume says unhappy, bitter, resentful, and really good at ordering off the menu." Indeed, many of his TikToks are his opinions while driving his car. Some videos show him going for... Why is any of this relevant? Who gives a shit? And yes, Machine Gun Kelly and Tyga both suck. Come here, beautiful, but the husband, I was shocked. Something seemed off, something seemed so weird. I kept saying to my family something's wrong with her husband. Police say the couple has 3 young children who were safe at school at the time that their mother is believed to have been murdered. Trust fund whack job. Damn, that's a dig at Nick. That's why you double bag. That's horrible. Oh, alright. Where are we? I don't think we really care about that. Man ran an unlicensed weed dispensary in New Jersey town. Cops say they immediately knew exactly what to do. A 36-year-old man was running an illegal marijuana dispensary in a town in Middlesex County, authorities said. Police in the Middlesex borough said on Friday that they seized more than 23 pounds of suspected raw marijuana, suspected marijuana-infused food products, and more than $17,000 in cash from Queen City Petro on the 500 block of the Bound Brook Road. The owner, Christopher L. Twine of Piscataway, was charged with money laundering, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, according to police. Based on the officer's findings, it's believed that the illegal dispensary opened very recently, as in no more than a few weeks. Fortunately, our officers quickly identified what was occurring and took prompt action. You don't keep that much on hand, what the fuck? Jersey's like the eternal Passover for the past several years. We're staying inside until the evil passes. And it's really like getting sucked into the Knights of Malta. The suspect wasn't using another business as a front. The dispensary was in a strip mall and was completely unregistered and undocumented. As early as October, there were 66 illegal marijuana dispensaries operating in New Jersey. Attorney information for Twine wasn't immediately available. He wasn't even, like, he was completely unlicensed, and he was completely blatant about it. Like, didn't even try and make it into a coffee shop or something. Just, yeah, dude. I got brownies. Love it. Absolutely love it. Idiot. Oh. Serious concern as koalas devour forests surrounding famous Aussie tourist spot. Oh, what? I'm sorry. We're still about $38 away from you being on camera, okay? You're just gonna have to keep huffing. What? Well, it might initially look like a healthy forest. Once you look closer, there's a problem. Cast your eye along the canopy and you'll see the white magna gum branches stretching through the healthy leaves. These were stripped bare by koalas who favour the species over other eucalypts. The carnage occurred in the property near Victoria's famed Great Ocean Road, and the biodiversity loss has left the owner seriously concerned. Who the hell cares at this point, given how few koalas are left? They need to be just let them go. Just let them eat it. Peter Mironowic's wife no longer ventures out into the Cape Otway forest that they purchased together over 20 years ago. She gets too upset and anxious about it. He, a leading conservationist zoologist, until recently felt the same, but after he mustered the courage to walk down into the forest, he discovered resident koalas are now killing younger trees that are trying to establish themselves, threatening the habitat's future. Hoping to protect some of these new trees, he fashioned protective bands around them to block hungry koalas. The trees don't only support koalas, birds and other mammals need them too, so what we're seeing is a huge environmental loss. While the damage frustrates them, it's not the animals themselves that he blames. The problem, he believes, is one of human making. Tourists flock to the Cape Otway forest to see the koalas in the wild, but he says that he has concerns about the management of the species. He believes the failings of successive governments have negatively impacted their welfare and the forest that they live in. Well, it didn't help that a whole bunch of their habitat got burnt out in 2019 and 2020. Nom nom eucalypts. Yep. How many different countries, and I've spoken to local police and municipalities, the sheriff deputies, all well regarding this. Okay. Apparently I just walked into some sort of conversation. Who wins in a fight, a koala or a sloth? So the tree huggers are blaming animals. Yep. I'm gonna give the edge to the koala. Like, the sloth's got really big claws, but they are slow to move. Koalas, when they get going, they can move pretty damn quick. And they bite and they scratch and they kick and all sorts of things. I can honestly say I'd never see it occurring. But, yeah, I'd still think a koala would have it. After Yahoo posed questions about his denuded trees and koala management to Victoria's Department of Wildlife, it issued a statement. Overabundance of koalas is a difficult long-term issue brought about by their love of mana gums, their reluctance to change their food source, and favourable climatic conditions, and an absence of predators. Our ongoing koala management programs have led to a steady decline in koala density across Cape Otway, and their overall health and condition has improved. Okay, so why aren't you just moving them? Are they any relation to Claude? It's a damn good question. I would say not, given that it's a good couple of 1,000 kilometres distance, but Hugh Jackman in Australia channel that sometimes, but just verbally. Koala, I choose you. Throws Pokeball. As indicated by the DEECA's statement, the problem not just confirms is not just confined to his property, with the issue extending beyond to the hundreds of hectares affected in the Otways. Many of the issues facing koalas are man-made, with some caused by pressure from development. Travelling further west towards South Australian border, there is another major concern. Large populations of the koalas thrive in timber plantations, but are regularly harvested, and this leaves the animals homeless. $2 to help Hayden mean the koalas with the chlamydia. Thank you, Stingy. Appreciate it. When they wander onto neighbouring properties, the national parks or the state forests, they put pressure on existing populations and the trees become denuded. Authorities then survey the forests and euthanize the animals whose welfare is assessed as compromised. In December of the 93 animals examined, 28 were found to have health issues and were unviable. So they just put them down. Lovely. Of the 58 males assessed, 34 received fertility control. You can just say you had them desexed. Denuded as enclosed. Yeah, so it's the phrase when the koalas go through and they strip all the leaves off it, the tree is considered to be denuded. I don't know why. How far away from Doggo Cam? What are we? 10, 20... Let me do the math. $36. We are $36 away from Doggo Cam. See, and I don't understand why they're bitching and moaning about this, given that they've just promoted plans to destroy a few hundred acres in order to have a wind farm built. Like, in what universe was this in any way a good idea? I mean, given that there's thoughts that anywhere between 2030 and 2050, the koala population is going to be absolutely decimated and beyond saving anyway, why are they bitching and moaning about this? I say let the animals eat. Let them eat. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And then you've got shit like this. Dolphin Sands bushfire destroying homes as locals forced to shelter at a jetty overnight. Like, this is the sort of shit that people are dealing with. Like, you know, it's horrible to think about. So, anyway. Had that. Oh, Jesus. You know, you could have made up a number and I would have believed it. Amateur Iconoclast, thank you very much for that. Hang on, I need to make sure that this room's a little bit messy. Congratulations, Angel. You're going to be on screen. Oh, you getting you want a close up, do you, Lady DeVille? Damn it, the room is messy. I'm just gonna. I got cables and crap everywhere because I got the 3D printer out earlier. I really need to clean up. Hang on, you know what? I'm just gonna take 2 seconds just to. I just want to clean that up a bit. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. There we go. That way. At least that's all off camera now. There. Okay, let's bring on the doggo. Much better. Now, why is this not connected there? There she is. Okay. Get a puppy, you get more money to show it. We've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about a sausage dog. That's what you call messy? Yes, that is what I call messy. 3D printer. Yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, hang on. Firstly, I should say Amateur Iconoclast. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hugely appreciate it. Thank you for getting us over the hurdle for Doggo Cam. Very, very much appreciated. Yeah, I'll bring that one up just so that that's there. And she appreciates it too. So, people, for every $5 from now, she gets a treat. And we have kangaroo. Oh, you can't really see it because of the blur, but yeah. These are mini kangaroo treats for adult all breeds. So these are actually half decent for us, so that they're a little bit what do you call it? Feeding guide. Oh, look at that. She can have 20 grams. But yeah. Shit, what was I saying? Oh, the 3D printer. Yeah, I'm bringing out the 3D printer again because I want to get it running again. Apparently, so my mother needs a new phone holder because the one that I built it broke or it got eaten by a dog or something. Quit rustling the bag. You're getting your hopes up. Those are roux flavored? Yes, they are roux flavored. Oh, thank you so much, Aaron Hack. Here you go, Angel. Yes, you're getting a treat. You gotta come here and... I'm not eating a roux treat. Sorry, not happening. I'll give you one now, and one in a couple of minutes after you digest this one, okay? Good girl. Okay, you say thank you to Aaron Hack. You got another one coming too. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. Okay, moving on. Where are we? Had the koalas. We talked about that. What's that? Had to grandparent for a minute. All good. Oh, that was a very happy papa. Oh, yeah. He's a good cow. Over here. On camera. On camera. Please. People paid good money to see you. Yeah, I'm going to give her the other treat in a minute. Look, it's right here. It's right here. I have it right. Oh, damn it. Okay, yeah. Sit. There's the other one. Good cow. Have you tried scanning with the Xbox 360 Kinect? Look, I thought about that at the time. As it turns out, there are better ways to do it using just a regular phone. You can actually use a turntable and a scanner to input 3D things. The connector, I don't have it anymore. So in order to connect the Kinect through to my computer, you got to have a special adapter, and apparently they're reasonably expensive to get a hold of these days. So came for the Aussie, stayed for the dog. Oh, there you go. Oi! What are you doing? You can at least lay on your bed. Now everyone's getting dog ass. What was that? Okay, as long as we got tail. Practice off prime placement for more treats. She really hasn't though. She's right here at my right hand, which is where I don't do treats. Too far to walk for the next treat. Wait, come over here and have pats, will you? Come on. People pay good money to see you. I'm whoring you out. You need to at least make it worth it. How'd it go? Okay, where did I get to? We had the Koreans. We had... Oh, Rodney the Emu. We need to talk about Rodney the Emu. Rodney the Emu captured in doorbell cam footage while on the loose in Kent before police come to the rescue. A pensioner in Maidstone received a shock when a video doorbell notification arrived showing that there was an emu peering into the lens of her front door. The pet named Rodney had escaped the appropriately named town of Luce near Maidstone in Kent when he approached the front door and rang the doorbell. The video shows Rodney walking up the driveway, prodding the door with his beak before kicking a nearby pot plant. Later, 3 people can be seen rescuing the animal by stalking it up the driveway. One of them then moves forward, wraps their arms around the emu, steering him to safety. Maureen Roberts, 81, was having lunch with her daughter and couldn't believe it when she saw the emu at the door on the camera. My dog was at home at the front door at the time. I don't know what he would have thought seeing a giant bird like that. Let's go to the tape! Come on, play. Is England being invaded again? Probably. It's so funny that the noises that they make when they're just, being normal. Nosy bird walked up to examine the neighbour's front door. Please, please, please open the door. No, well, she wasn't home. The emu came to the door in Texas. It'd be an early Thanksgiving. See, look how, So there you go. Where are we? In Burlington, an ambulance has been stolen while responding to a call. Burlington authorities say that one of their ambulances was stolen while responding to a call over the weekend, swiped by the person that they were trying to save. Court paperwork says that fire crews were called for an overdose to the South Prospect Street on Sunday night. When they arrived, Mitchell Bizonet, the man that they were called to help, was nowhere to be found. While firefighters were looking for him, he allegedly stole the ambulance and drove it for about half a mile. Officials say he jumped out of the slow-moving ambulance before it hit a parked car. If dude wasn't high, I don't know what he's thinking. The Firefighters Association posted the interaction to their social media to help make people aware of what they might be dealing with. Our goal of putting it out there is just to highlight the changing climate that our crews are operating in, and no intent of fear-mongering, but we feel it's important to the community understands. For some reason I thought that said community standards. Is the whistling coming from the video? Yes, that was the sound that the emu was making. No one was hurt. Bizarre was charged with grand larceny, operating without the owner's consent, and careless and negligent operation. That's funny.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Kiana Burks in for
Grows for Burlington fire patients this
I don't care. I just want to see if there's
South Prospect
footage.
Street when they arrived while fire vehicle
climate. That our goal of putting it out there was just to sort of highlight the changing climate that our crews are operating in, and no intent of fear-mongering, but we feel it's important that the community understands.
Don't know if I'm thinking about the same bird that'll give you a deadly kick. Is that the emu? Has a personality like Sonny Boy Williamson and a razor in his shoe. You might be thinking of the cassowary. Emus are still nasty, but if you... So, the running joke is that, you know, the war with the emus, however you want to put it. Regular emus are your infantry. Cassowaries are the special forces. If you've ever seen the photo of the giant-ass bird that's attacking a guy that's holding a piece of wood in front of him, that's a cassowary. And the claws are like this, and they go straight through the wood as well. So, alright, where are we? A cop pointed a gun at his colleague over Top Gun Maverick spoilers. He looks like the kind of shithead that'd do it as well. An Australian police officer pointed his gun at his colleague who threatened to give away the plot to a Hollywood blockbuster, the court heard this week. Constable Dominic Francis Gaynor, 30, was walking behind the counter at a police station in Sydney in May when a colleague said that he had seen Top Gun Maverick, the Tom Cruise movie released in 2022. The junior colleague, probationary constable Morgan Royston, who made the legal complaint, told Gaynor that he had seen the movie and added, "I'll spoil it for you." Okay, I know you're supposed to be careful with firearms, but I kind of feel like this one was justified. According to the court document cited by Australian broadcaster ABC, Gaynor laughed and said, "Don't spoil the movie for me, I'll shoot you." And "I'll shoot you," before taking his Glock handgun out of his holster and pointing it towards Royston for 5 seconds. The document says Gaynor was laughing throughout, and his finger was not on the trigger but on the receiver. Alright, well, you know what? I'm looking at that myself. New South Wales Police told NBC News in an emailed statement Friday morning that the ABC's account is accurate, but declined to comment further. He pled guilty to carrying a firearm with disregard for the complainant's safety. Royston appeared at a hearing at Downing Centre Local Court on Thursday, where he described as being suffering from depression and anxiety as a result of the incident, and said that he had left the force. He's suffering depression and anxiety for pointing a gun at somebody, or because they spoiled the movie for him. Chris McCarley, his counsel, told the court his client had not intended to intimidate Royston, but admitted that he had made an error. McCarley added that conviction would definitely lead to Gaynor losing his job. Gaynor was given a 2-year good behaviour order and told to carry out 100 hours of community service. Magistrate Michael Mayer said in his sentencing remarks, according to the Australian Associated Press, that the defendant has shown clearly dangerous, reckless judgment. The judge added that while he accepted that Gaynor had taken responsibility, he doubted the true extent of his remorse. I'm somewhat guarded as to his understanding the true impact that he had on his colleague. Go ahead and spoil it, I ain't watching it anyway. Maverick was pretty good, I don't blame him. Okay. Who is Darth Vader? Wait, don't spoil it for me, I'm still on episode 2. I seen a cop do an illegal U-turn, stop in mid-traffic to arrest a bicyclist. The cop came at him with taser drawn. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Alright, do we actually have the court documents here? No, they're not going to show the court documents. Why does ABC never give me the court documents? Because they're assholes. Top Gun Maverick, the sequel to the 1986 classic Top Gun that follows the exploits of the elite squadron of Navy pilots, was the highest grossing movie of 2022, making $719 million in ticket sales. Top Gun Maverick. Slaughtering the Marvels. Hot Shots was better. Hot Shots was friggin' better. I will give you that. A woman was accidentally locked in an Orange County jail overnight. Sheriff's Department is looking to change their protocols. She was locked into the sheriff's office. A woman was accidentally locked in overnight at the Theo Lacey jail lobby, prompting Orange County Sheriff's Department officials to make changes in overnight checks in the facility and the installation of an emergency phone, a sheriff's spokesperson said on Thursday. Why? Like, at a certain point, there has to be a certain level of dumbassery that's just accepted in society. The woman came to the jail located at the 501 the City Drive South just before visiting hours ended at 5 p.m. To visit with one of the inmates who was unavailable at the time, she said the sheriff's spokesperson. While waiting, she nodded off in the lobby and was accidentally locked in overnight. Sheriff's staff arriving the next morning before 8 a.m. saw her and got her out. The woman, who was in her 30s, sustained a cut on her hand for which she was treated but was otherwise okay. How the hell does she... They're spoiling Star Trek and telling you who Darth Vader is. Oh, Mandy. Everyone knows that Darth Vader's the one in the story that knows the answer to 42 to the life and everything. He's the one that rides Falcor and kills off the unicorn. Had to turn off my dang old Rumble. Lost a Rumble viewer, too much buffering. Oh, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Only lesson I got from the Vader arc was that he was raised by a single mother and turned out to be totally evil. Someone open a window, I keep feeling a light breeze. No, I don't think so. Alright, where are we? I want to know why she sustained a cut on her hand, though. Cell phones are not allowed in the jail, and there's no other type of public phone in the lobby. This isn't being rectified now. Visitors will have access to an emergency phone in the public visiting area. There'll also be a change of procedures to have a supervisor do a check of the lobby overnight. Exactly, how does she cut her hand? It makes no sense. Just like the stream, too many spoilers. Is there any point to this video?
Some changes will be made at the Theo Lacey jail after a woman...
No, it's just them talking over the top, so it doesn't matter. Alright, moving on. A new bill would permit backyard chickens in every Wisconsin community. Wisconsinites may soon have permission to raise a flock of chickens in their backyard if recently proposed legislation advances. The bill, which is being circulated for co-sponsorship, would require local governments to allow the keeping of up to 4 chicken, geese, ducks, quail, or guinea fowl on property by owners. The bill notes that permits can be required, as can neighbour notifications, a ban on roosters, and specifications on where housing for the birds can be kept on the property. Chickens can already be kept in several Wisconsin communities, including Madison, Milwaukee, and Warsaw. Warsaw's chicken ordinance was passed in 2017 after months of debate and delays. Could you imagine having to spend months and however many dollars arguing over whether or not someone can have a chicken? Aussie's connection to Rumble died. Seriously? Oh, hang on. Let me have a look. Bloody hell. They've been having some issues lately, and I don't know why. However you want to put it. Regular emus are your infantry. Cassowaries are the special forces. If you've ever seen the photo of the giant-ass bird that's attacking a guy that's holding a piece of wood, the Rumble stream is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes behind. What is going on? That's a cassowary. And it's the... Right now, it's me talking about the friggin' cassowaries and the fire station. Like... Okay, if anyone is still managing to watch this on Rumble, I'm just letting you know now. I'm not sitting around for 4 minutes while there's dead air at the end of the stream, so it's probably going to cut. Aussies at war with the emus if they're... Yeah, see? Upon the horizon, still talking about the emus. So, it's a Rumble fumble. I'm just gonna casually let them know. Just FYI, Rumble stream is 5 mins. 5 mins, not mons. 5 mins behind. Live, no idea why. Stream will likely end prematurely. Like Nick on a bad night. No, I'm not going to say that. Probably end prematurely. Alright. Just so that they know. Sheriff gave my bicycle camper rig to the official stamp of approval, and then from then on it was across the river and interstate with confidence. Interesting. Isn't R2-D2 a Dalek? R2-D2 is like the predecessor. So, anyway, okay. Chicken ordinance. The bill author wants to empower residents to raise their own food. Bill author Shay Sortwell, Republican for Two Rivers, says the state measure is about empowering Wisconsinites to raise their own food if they choose to do so. And of course, it does not authorize keeping of a cow in your backyard. Doesn't say anything about a cow in your bedroom, though. Got it. The measure is a partner bill to another piece of legislation that gives Wisconsinites the right to have a garden in the backyard. Sortwell himself doesn't have any chickens, but he does have geese and has raised ducks and guinea fowl in the past. It's a bill that says you have the basic right to raise your own food, and we want to make sure people across Wisconsin actually have that right. Wait, what was that? Someone from Rumble is usually watching and chatting during his live streams. No, I tell you what, you know what's it? I didn't realize it, but I now have a YouTube relationship manager. Like, someone reached out to talk to me about ads and various other things and how to improve the channel and that sort of thing. I didn't think I warranted that. Like, I assumed that they had better things to do. Grow your own food. Ban gardens! Yep. The foul bill was created in response to a high schooler reaching out to legislators after being told by a local governing board that she wouldn't be permitted to have chickens in the backyard of her mum's house. According to the local ordinance, there weren't enough acres, a rule that was applied to other larger farm animals as well. Loved Yoda's lightsaber skills in Saw 25. Oh yeah, that's where he really shined. She argued that it didn't seem fair she couldn't have chickens, which aren't as large or messy as other animals. In Milwaukee, residents are able to own up to 4 chickens as long as they have secure a permit to do so. And for those who do own chickens, like Miss Zambor, shit, are these headphones really already going? What a joke. Of the Endress Hart Park neighborhood, there are benefits. We have 3 chickens in the backyard and get eggs from them almost every day, and it's just been a joy for our family. Zambor and her family have had 3 hens in their backyard for a little over a year and say they've never had a complaint from neighbours. The family cleans out the coop and the run each day, and the birds, for the most part, are pretty content, she said. They sometimes let out squawks when laying eggs or warning each other of a stray cat in the backyard, but there hasn't been a single complaint. They're more quiet than half the dogs in the neighbourhood. Scrooty McBoogerballs, how you doing, buddy? Hope everyone's having a great day or whatever. I just saw the live as I was exiting YouTube and thought I'd say hi and leave a like. Fantastic. Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Who was a giant fish dude that was the captain of the Battlestar Galactica in Star Trek who screamed about traps? Admiral Akbar. It's a trap! Where are we? Aside from providing for the family with eggs, the chickens have become pets too. I didn't realise how attached I was going to get to them, she said. They don't particularly like to be held, but you can pet them, get close, and they're like part of the family. Yeah, well, animals are always like part of the family, aren't they? You know, sweetheart? Oi. Oi! Don't ignore me. What are you going to do? She's a lazy animal. No, I said Admiral Akbar, not Aloha Snack Bar. If I was going to say that, I would have said it during the start of the show. Alright, where are we? This car is trash. Greensboro woman upset after SUV she purchased is deemed unsafe to drive. She actually bought a car and then it was deemed unsafe to drive. Laura Lynn Brannock remembers it, liking it the moment she saw it. It was a perfect, big enough to haul around all her stuff and yet nice enough for the family. This 2017 Chevy Equinox really was exactly what she'd been looking for. It didn't take long before she drove it off the lot with a new car. Before she drove off with a new car, she paid around $13,000 for the SUV and could not have been happier. It felt good. A couple of days later, she noticed a little rattle coming from the SUV. She wasn't sure what it was, so she decided it would be best to take it to a mechanic. What she discovered made her cry. He said it was unsafe to drive. He didn't want me to drive it home that day, she said. No lemon law in her state? Nope. It's a Chevy, of course it's unsafe to drive. The SUV, according to the mechanic, needed several things repaired, including the frame, the undercarriage, and several parts were all covered in rust. I wish it was safe to drive, she said. After she reached out to the dealership and asked for a refund or a different SUV, she said the dealership was unwilling to help and refused to refund her money. I'm still making payments for the car, and it's not even safe to drive, she said. Not sure what to do, she said she contacted the local news team to see if they could help. They tried calling the dealership, but no one returned the calls. After several weeks of leaving messages, they went to the dealership. A man who said he was a salesperson showed us some paperwork associated with the sale for the car and told us we needed to speak to someone else. He said the owner was out of the country and that we had to speak with him. We waited for a few weeks and called back. We tried to speak with the owner, but again our calls went unanswered, so again we went to the dealership. We spoke to the same salesperson who said the owner was out of the country. He said he was coming back in a week and to call back then. The salesperson for the SUV said that the SUV was sold as is and passed a safety inspection before being sold. It passed a safety inspection, and yet it is unsafe to drive. That safety inspection was mandated by the state, but does not include a thorough inspection that would identify worn-out parts, extensive rust, or a damaged frame. This is why you should always be careful, people. 80% of all Chevys sold are still on the road. The other 20% made it back home. See... Setting aside lemon laws, we also have a thing called fitness for purpose, which is implied into every contract in Australia, because it's done at a federal level. The Australian Competition Consumer Code. When you buy something, it has to be fit for the purpose that it is being used for. It must, if you have a reliance on the individual specifying that you need it for a specific purpose, then and you tell them that, they have to be able to specify that this car they must warrant that it is fit for the purpose. But more to the point, it must be able to actually be used for the purpose in which you buy it. So the horn and headlights worked, apparently. After the dealership basically refused to refund the money or have the owner return our calls, we wanted to see just how safe or unsafe it was. Had the owner of Pat's Auto Body and Towing inspect the SUV. Sandra Scarlett had the SUV on a lift and it showed us the problems. She immediately pointed out several rusted parts, showed us where the frame was bent and cracked. The car's been in an accident, probably more than one. If you look at all the rust on the SUV, this is trash. I wouldn't feel safe in this car, she said. The SUV, she said, was in such bad condition her shop wouldn't feel comfortable trying to repair it. She said the body would need to be welded, making the frame weak. And the SUV's remaining parts would be the remaining repairs would be well over $7,000. In most cases, the buyer would be limited in what they could do. The car was sold as is, meaning that the buyer, in this case Brannock, assumes all responsibility for any repairs. This may end up being the case, but it doesn't change the fact the SUV is not considered safe according to at least the mechanics. That's pretty rough. There's also the case of a document that the dealership had Brannock sign at the time of the purchase, which states the vehicle has not been damaged by collision or other occurrence to the extent the damage exceeds 25% of the value at the time of the collision or other occurrence. Ooh, they might have him on that
Road trip
then.
for a Greensboro man turned into a months-long nightmare. The check engine light turned on for Daryl James while he was
Where is
in
this audio
Florida.
coming from? I don't actually have anything
several
playing.
$1,000s and went to the mechanic.
Oh, there. Fuck off. Point is, she got screwed over. Chevy stands for can hear every valve rattle on long extended trips. Seen way too many brand new vehicles right off the truck, break or grenade itself after being sold. Yeah. Generally, what I like to do, particularly when buying a second-hand car, is you get a secondary mechanic to look it over before you... I mean, don't get me wrong. Every car, whether it's used or brand new here, has to be cleared with a roadworthy to be able to be transferred. So generally, at the very least, it has to be able to run and be safe to be on the road. This is a little bit nuts, in my opinion. So, Where are we? Oh, we're just about getting up to time. So let's talk about... Oh, an entire state's population just had its data stolen by a ransomware group. It's not every day that the entire population of a US state gets their data stolen by online thieves. But according to the state of Maine, that's exactly what happened this year. In a new notice posted on Maine's official state government website, 1.3 million residents had their data stolen due to a vulnerability in a tool used by the state. The breach was first discovered on May 31 this year and is believed that a notorious ransomware group is behind the attack. Again, 1.3 million individuals are affected by the data breach. Maine has over 1.3 million residents according to the 2022 US Census. According to the notice, the data breach occurred between May 28 and May 29 of this year. Cybercriminals took advantage of a vulnerability in a third-party software tool known as MoveIt. The state says that the tool is used by thousands of entities worldwide to send and receive data. During the period, an exploit in the tool was weaponized by cybercriminal groups, which allowed them to download swaths of data from multiple state government agencies. Just how much data was scooped in the breach is of major cause for concern. It appears that the criminals have access to many of the Maine's residents' sensitive data. Exactly how much an individual is affected is dependent on that person and their association with the state. So what now? So they're only telling you people about it now? Yeah. For example, a specific person has provided certain data as part of a specific program to connected to an agency. That data has potentially been breached. Maine has confirmed that some points of data that the cybercriminals could potentially have on an individual includes their name, social security number, date of birth, driver's license or state ID number, and taxpayer ID number. So more than enough for someone to be, have their identity stolen. Nice! I'm not pulling that up, Jason, but I don't disagree with you. Medical information as well as health insurance information may also have been affected. Officials in Maine dealt with the issue by shutting off access to MoveIt as soon as the breach was discovered. However, significant amounts of data had already been accessed. It's unclear exactly who was behind the breach, although it is believed to be the cyber criminal group known as CLOP. However, as of today, the data is still yet to be released by the ransomware group. Yeah, so they're probably using it. The state says the individual should reach out to the state for more information as to how they've been potentially affected. Maine has set up a website for details for residents. Oh, goodness me. Alright, we'll finish up with... Spiders the size of your hand can fly for miles, and they're coming, say researchers. Ooh. Imagine walking outside and suddenly out of the sky drops a spider the size of your right hand right onto your head. It's unlikely, but not impossible. Not with the Joro spider spreading across the eastern US and almost certainly destined to make its way to southern Alabama. They've already been spotted in the state. In early October, a hiker in northern Alabama reported an encounter with a Joro in the Roy B. Whitaker Preserve in Paint Rock, east of Huntsville. The Joros, a native to East Asian countries such as Japan, Korea, Taiwan, and China, are thought to have arrived in the US around 2013 when they were discovered in Georgia. Since then, they've spread across much of Georgia into Tennessee and the Carolinas, with additional sightings in Maryland and even as far west as Oklahoma. Female Joros can grow up to 6 to 8 inches in length, legs included, while the males are considerably smaller, which is the way that it almost always is with spiders. Joro researcher Dr. Andy Davis at the University of Georgia told AL.com this week that they had not heard of any sightings in South Alabama, but it would not surprise them if there was one, adding that Joros have made their way into West Virginia. They're incredibly invasive, so much so that they can essentially run off any species of spider. They will eat almost anything they catch in their webs: mosquitoes, flies, stink bugs, and yes, other spiders. These spiders don't seem to care what gets in their web. They're just as likely to eat brown, marmorated stink bugs as they are to eat a monarch butterfly. To say they're more beneficial than any other spider is just simply wrong. They're a spider, and if something gets caught in their web, it's going to eat it. For once, I'm glad to be in California. For once, I'm glad to be in Australia. If they don't care if it's a rare native pollinator and there are only a few of them left in the world, or if it's a brown stink bug, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's the same thing to the spider. It's prey. So there you go. Oh, alright. You right there snoring away? That is one content dog. Thank you very much for the treats. She's going to sleep now. Oh, alright guys. I'm going to get out of here. but just because I've got other things that I've got to do. It's where you live. Bart and Bella, that's why I brought it up, so that people could be aware. So, but anyway, people, thank you very much for your super chats. Just double check whether or not you have hit the like button. Very much appreciate if you could do that. Thank you for those of you that stuck through the show. And thank you to everybody that's been interacting with the shorts. They've been taking off now, so it's been great. Trying to sort of build that up a little bit. Seems to have stemmed the deluge of subscribers disappearing. I think maybe YouTube decided that because I didn't have that many views, it didn't equate to what was actually happening on my channel or whatever else. I don't know. I don't care. Point is, we got to 100 likes. Fantastic. Anyway, as always, people, please remember, you are not a piece of shit. You do have value, and you very much contribute to society, especially being here and helping us through this channel. As always, I'm Aussie Overlord. Stay healthy, wealthy, and wise, and I will catch you on the flip side. Keep an eye out on Twitter. For those of you that are complaining about not getting notifications, go and sign up on Locals, AussieOverlord at locals.com. At some point this week, I will be doing a call-in show. So that's pretty well going to be the only place that you can do that. Tomorrow, I think we may do a review stream. I haven't decided yet. I'll start on YouTube and maybe move it over to Rumble, depending on whether or not Rumble's got their kinks worked out. But, yes. And the other thing is the trial stream. I'm looking to see which trial is going to start. I was going to do the Visine eye killer case. Given that the hit and run murder trial is now over, there may be another trial starting up tomorrow. So I'm going to wait and see what that one is. And then depending on, then we'll go from there. Okay? Anyway, peeps, I shall catch you all later. Love you all. Peace out.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.